Hi everybody, and welcome to Teen Book Tuesday. I'm Lorie and I'm the teen librarian at Manlius Library, and today we're talking about dystopian books. There's really not much that YA Lit does better than dystopian books. There's a lot of them, and I'm here to help you make some sense of some of them. Because we all know about the old tried and true, like Divergent, or The Hunger Games, which I can't show you because it's checked out, because as you might know, the fourth one, which is a prequel, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, just came out, and it's highly, highly popular, hugely in demand, and well-deserved. It's a fabulous book. I covered that one in a Teen Book Tuesday a few weeks ago, so you can look for that. If you are a fan of the Shatter Me series, I just got the new one. Book 5 in the Shatter Me series just came out. Well, came out while we were on quarantine. I just got it here. So if you're interested in that, you can go onto our website and put a hold on that one. I've got some different ones to tell you about today. We're going to start with this one. It's called The Marrow Thieves, as in bone marrow. The Marrow Thieves by Sherry Dimeline. And this one takes place in Canada, in an apocalyptic future Canada. Indigenous people have been forced to live on the run to avoid capture by the recruiters, who are government military agents who kidnap Indians and confine them to facilities called schools. So growing up on the run, Frenchie, our main character, learns how to hunt, trap, and keep moving north to survive. But climate change has caused chaos and collapse around the world. 5 years later, Frenchie is now 16, and the bonded travelers have protected one another, strengthened by their loyalty and will to persevere as a people. They must stay forever on alert, just a breath away from capture by the recruiters or by other Indians who act as their agents. Migwans reveals that the government has been kidnapping Indians to extract their bone marrow. Scientists believe that it is the key to restoring dreaming to white people, and it's found within their DNA. Frenchie later learns that the truth is even more horrifying. In The Marrow Thieves, the landscape of North America has been completely altered by climate change. Rising oceans have eliminated coastlines, and the Great Lakes has been destroyed by pollution and busted oil pipelines. A dystopian world that is all too real and that has much to say about our own right now. Through story told by Mig, Frenchie learns about history, his culture, and how precious they both are in a society that seeks to process his people like cattle. Dimeline, the author, writes elegant prose that grabs the reader and carries you right into this dark and passionate world. This is great for fans of Z for Zechariah by Robert C. O'Brien and The Chrysalids by John Wyndham. It's a great adventure. It's a character-driven, riveting novel, compelling, culturally diverse, and lyrical, post-apocalyptic science fiction. The next one I'm going to tell you about is Elemental by Antony John. It's a bit of a mix between fantasy, science fiction. It takes place in a dystopian colony of the United States, where everyone is born with a power of the elements: water, wind, earth, and fire. Thomas, the main character, is the first and only child born without an element, and he seems powerless. But is he? When plague hit the mainland United States, a few people managed to escape to the Outer Banks in North Carolina. Now, 16-year-old Thomas is the only person on Hatteras Island without an element, the supernatural ability to manipulate air, fire, earth, or water. When pirates, because of course there's pirates, when pirates kidnap the adults and attempt to take the island for their own, Thomas, his deaf younger brother, his best friend Alice, and his would-be girlfriend Rose and her little brother hide out on Roanoke Island, where an abandoned community has been reduced to rubble in the wake of the plague and treacherous storms. As Thomas and the gang defend themselves against the desperate pirates, the teens slowly discover that their guardians have been hiding secrets, particularly about Thomas, that could cost them all their lives. There's plenty of action. If you enjoy survival stories, there's a twist of supernatural, a hint of romance. Thomas and Alice are the focal characters, as they're both instrumental in defending the island. The eerie setting with its skeletal buildings and mysterious past. Roanoke Island is real. Look it up. It's kind of fascinating. It's practically a character in itself in this book. It's told from Tom's perspective in a male first-person point of view, which is rare for teen dystopian fiction. This will appeal to all readers of the genre. It's fast-paced, suspenseful, and dystopian fantasy. It's the first in a series. and they're all out and they're all available. Next up, one of my favorite dystopian authors, Neal Schusterman, and Scythe. This one, I have the audiobook here for you. We also have it in hard copy, and it's available on Hoopla and or Libby, as all of these are. So this is Scythe. It's the first of a series. There's 3 out now, and it is a world-building, battle royale, dystopian science fiction series. It's, again, the start of the series, which has just been completed. Takes place in the year 2042. Humans have conquered death. Now, in the post-mortal society of mid-America, people can live for millennia, thousands of years, either reanimated from fatal accidents or turning the corner. When they get old, they reset themselves to a younger age. But as Earth remains the only habitable planet in the universe, population has kind of gotten out of control. And so now exist the Scythes. They're tasked with keeping the population in check because those who a scythe gleans stay dead. Enter Citra and Rowan, teenagers. They've been selected to compete for the right to become a scythe's apprentice. And despite wanting nothing to do with it, they must learn the art of killing and come to understand the necessity of what they do. Only one of them will be chosen as a scythe's apprentice, and when it becomes clear that the winning apprentice's first task will be to glean the loser, Citra and Rowan are pitted against one another in a fight for their lives. It's told through journal entries, which accompany Rowan's and Citra's dual and dueling narratives, revealing both personal struggles and societal problems. The futuristic post-2042 mid-American world is both dystopia and utopia. It's free of fear, unexpected death, and blatant racism. The multiracial main characters discuss their diverse ethnic percentages rather than purity. But also, it lacks creativity, emotion, and purpose. So, this dark tale thrusts realistic, likable teens into a surreal situation and raises deep philosophical questions. Is the gleaning of a few acceptable if it maximizes the happiness of all? Is it possible to live a moral life within such a system? Humanity has perfected itself. So what does that leave to accomplish? A thoughtful and thrilling story of life, death, and the meaning of both. This powerful tale is guaranteed to make you think deeply. You will want to read this one and then the next one and immediately the one after that, which, as I said, just came out. Now, I have a second runner-up from Neal Schusterman. It's not really a second runner-up. It's a fabulous book. It's a standalone, as near as I can tell. There's not another one coming out. And it's called Dry. Also a dystopian, completely different world. Takes place in California. The world is in a drought, which turns deadly when all of a sudden there's no water left. And what do you do when there's no water left? You have dry. Not all dystopian books are science fiction or fantasy, and this is the perfect example of a realistic fiction dystopian novel. It's called Internment, and it's by Samira Ahmed. And I do mean perfect. It's a fabulous book. It presents a chilling depiction of a near-future America in which U.S. citizens allow themselves to be controlled by prejudice and fear, and they succumb to the hateful rhetoric of a populist leader. Our main character, 17-year-old Layla, and her parents are among the Muslims rounded up and transported to Manzanar. It's an internment camp for Muslim American citizens at a site where those of Japanese descent were incarcerated by the U.S. government during World War II. 17-year-old Layla burns with anger at the malevolent director who runs the camp, at the complicit Muslim American minders who work for the camp, and at those who let these injustices happen. Though Layla's parents worry about her, she feels compelled to shut down the camp with the help of her fellow prisoners, her boyfriend David, who's on the outside, and a seemingly sympathetic guard. While most people quietly comply, Layla is determined to fight back for the freedom that is rightfully hers. She's an American citizen. Layla finds allies both inside and outside the camp, and before long, she herself is at the center of a rebellion against the despicable people in charge. Internment is a poignant, necessary, important story that paints a very real, very frank picture of hatred and ignorance, while also giving readers and marginalized individuals hope. It emphasizes that the oppressed have a voice and the power to speak up and fight back, while also reminding us that all citizens have the obligation, responsibility, and power to raise their voices and defend their fellow citizens from mistreatment or abuse. The author keeps the tension mounting as Layla faces increasingly violent consequences for her actions. The teenagers' relationships are depicted authentically, and their strength and resistance are inspiring. The author darkly notes that those who don't know history are doomed to repeat it. But she also realizes that forgetting is in the American grain. It's authentic, it's culturally and religiously diverse. This timely, important novel should spark many conversations about contemporary issues. And finally today, we have Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. This one actually took me by surprise. I wasn't prepared for how much I enjoyed it. 17-year-old Mare Barrow lives in a world where one's lot in life is determined by the color of one's blood. Literally. Mare is many things. She's a sister, a fighter, a thief. She is also a red, a lower caste in a fantastical society split by blood color. Silvers are the elite ruling class whose blood gives them magical powers, while red bloods are born to serve and are often conscripted to fight in a distant war that no one really knows anything about. Mare resigns herself to fighting in the war until a chance encounter lands her in front of the Silver Court, and she discovers she has powers of her own, unheard of in a red. Of course, to cover this up, the king and queen, who are silver, claim Mare as a lost silver princess. They betroth her to their son, and soon she finds herself caught up in a world of politics, betrayal, and rebellion. Now Mare is torn between playing the part of a silver and helping out the Scarlet Guard rebellion. The author weaves a compelling new world, and Mare and the two men in her life evolve intriguingly as class tensions rise. This novel has it all: world building, court intrigue, caste divisions, superpowers, and a main character with multiple possible love interests. But revolution supersedes romance. It sets the stage for action-packed surprises. There's an inventive character-driven twist and an action-packed fantasy for fans of powerful heroines. This series breathes new life into tired fantasy dystopian trends. Well, thanks for joining me for today's Teen Book Tuesday. I hope that you found something that you might like to read. If you're signed up for the Teen Summer Reading Program, your secret code is GLORY, capital G-L-O-R-Y, GLORY. Head on over to your account on Read Squared, either the site or the app, and click on the Events tab. And then on this week's Teen Book Tuesday, enter the code GLORY for 20 points toward the end of the summer raffle tickets. And if you're a teen aged 12 to 19 in Central New York and you're not signed up for the Teen Summer Reading Program, head over to the Manlius Library website and sign up today. There's lots of reading, lots of fun activities, and lots of great prizes. Thanks for joining me. My name is Lorie. I'm the teen librarian here at Manlius Library. You can find me on the Manlius Library YouTube channel every Tuesday at 4 o'clock for Teen Book Tuesday. Have a great week. Happy reading.